I know you're kidding me.
Here we have an oil painting on canvas dating back to the 1920s. Our guest inherited this painting from his parents.
And he loved reading to his children books that had illustrations. And this is one of the illustrations. She knew how much he would love to get one of those. So.
The piece of art was created by Frank Earl Schoonover, an American artist and illustrator. Schoonover was a prolific contributor to books and magazines during the early 20th century. This painting is titled, "At a Hail from the Boat, He Went to the Rail," and is an illustration of a chapter of a novel titled Privateers of '76, written by Ralph de la Haye Payne. The painting is dated to the period when the novel was published. Having been kept in a wonderful state, this painting of an illustration from a novel published in the 20th century is estimated at
$125,000.
I know you're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding.
No. This is the thing which has knocked around in the family forever.
Yeah.
The Chinese people are known for their export crafts and design, but this incense burner takes it up a notch to another level. We can confirm it was created by the Chinese by the design of dragons coming out of the cloud.
Which is to fill it with sand and then go down to your local hippie store and get joss sticks.
Okay.
Because it's an incense burner.
Okay.
This incense burner was used in temples during ancient times for religious reasons, and the design on it exudes magnificence, expertise, and top-tier Chinese design. There are also Buddhistic symbols on the surface, and also elephant-shaped foundations, which in ancient China depicts stability. As an artifact that depicts ancient China in all its magnificence, this incense burner is estimated to sell at auction for
between £10,000 and £15,000 on it.
No. This is the thing which has knocked around in the family forever.
Yeah.
£10,000 and £15,000.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Thank you.
This trade sign, once hung at the Hummel Cigar Factory in Slatington, Pennsylvania, has a fascinating history. Passed down through the generations, it's been a fixture in the guest's family home for years. The factory, where the guest's great-grandmother worked, went out of business around the turn of the century, adding to the sign's historical value. Expert appraisal suggests that this sign likely dates back to the last half or quarter of the 19th century.
As you know, cigars are in.
Cigars are currently in vogue, leading to a surge in interest for items related to the cigar-making industry, like this sign. The sign's exquisite craftsmanship, with its original painted surface and intricate detailing, makes it highly desirable among collectors. At auction, this cigar trade sign could fetch at
$1,500, $2,500 or more.
Our guest purchased the rug at the Tucson local swap meet for $200. The rug is from the Caucasus mountain range and was likely woven in a village by children. It features birds and an animal with 4 legs, a big tail, and antlers, likely a reindeer. Our guest hangs the rug on the wall in their living room. The appraiser estimates the rug to be from around 1900, making it over 100 years old. This rug's value is attributed to its collectability and size, being almost 12 feet long. The appraiser surprises the guest by revealing that the rug could be worth as much as
$5,000 at auction. It's pretty good, huh? It's a good investment.
This unique chair was acquired by the guest at an auction house in Iowa. Interestingly, it was designed by George Elmsley, an American prairie school architect whose works are mostly found in the Midwestern United States.
And design the classic pieces of Minnesota arts and crafts furniture.
Further inspection of the chair reveals a triangular back that extends down to the base. Beneath the chair, we can see dial points, some modern nails, and plywood. However, the colors of the wood used vary from part to part. It also features kickback legs, which are a distinctive feature. Unfortunately, all of these features on the chair point to the fact that it isn't an original, but a copy. Therefore, because the chair isn't legitimate, its value at auction would be...
You're not out too much money. The market value of this is exactly what you paid for it because you paid it.
Right.
Our guest found the picture at an estate sale in Minneapolis about 5 or 6 years ago. This picture is made of coin silver, a uniquely American form of silver that predates the adoption of sterling silver standards in the United States. The picture is marked with the maker's mark, Jones, Ball, and Pour, and the stamp Pure Coin. This picture features intricate engraving and an inscription that mentions
John Quincy Adams, 6th President of the United States.
The inscription indicates that the picture was presented by the House of Representatives to the owner of a boarding house in 1848. The guest paid $600 for the picture, recognizing its historical and collectible value. Appraiser estimates the picture as a piece of presidential memorabilia connected to John Quincy Adams. At auction, this coin silver picture could be worth at least
It should bring at least $1,500.
Oh, okay.
And possibly as much as $2,500.
Oh, well, good. Then I made a good investment.
The guest brought campaign buttons that he inherited from his mother. The appraiser identified the buttons as rare Abraham Lincoln campaign buttons in excellent condition. Abraham Lincoln was an American lawyer, politician, and statesman who served as the 16th President of the United States from 1861 until his assassination in 1865. Usually such buttons were found with cracks, fading, or wear, but these were in superb condition. One button featured a solo image of Lincoln, while the other was a Juget button with Lincoln and his campaign mate, Hamlin. The rare Juget button features Lincoln and Hamlin, a true treasure for collectors, and was estimated at
Lincoln at 600 to 900, and I would estimate the one with Lincoln and Hamlin at 800 to 1200. I'm being on the conservative side.
The vase was originally owned by the guest's mother-in-law and was received from the guest's father-in-law. It is believed to have been made by the sister of Margaret Cable.
A lot of fairly mediocre North Dakota School of Mines out there. A lot of it was done by students, and they're smallish pieces. The larger pieces, they're not as common. They tended to be done by the better artists.
The vase depicts flicker tails, ground squirrels, and wheat, which are representative of North Dakota. Our guest had the vase appraised about 12 years ago by a local appraiser who estimated its value to be between $1,200 and $1,500. This vase is signed by Flora Huckfield and features the inscription, North Dakota Wheat and Flicker Tails. The appraiser notes that while prices for many American pottery pieces dropped after 2008 and have not fully recovered, larger and more exceptional pieces like this vase have retained their value. Despite being knocked into multiple times while on the floor of the guest husband's childhood home, the vase remains in beautiful shape. At auction, this vase could easily fetch at
between $4,000 and $6,000.
Really? This piece is worth between $4,000 and $6,000? Oh my goodness.
It's a sunny day adorned with the brilliance of a gleaming ring. This ring was given to our guest by her mom. The ring has a lemony yellow colored sapphire set with diamonds and mounted with platinum. Crafted in the 1930s, we see the Art Deco era aesthetic in the ring's craftsmanship.
Partying and cocktails and everything, so it's such great fun.
Weighing 16 carats, the ring's quality is reinforced. This piece, although it looks like a glass ring, is much more than that, and its appealing Art Deco aesthetics and designs would make it worth
£4,000 and £5,000. You're kidding me?
The guest brought in a brooch that belonged to her mother-in-law, who lived in Norway. The appraiser identified the piece as typical Art Deco jewelry. The brooch had marks on the metal, including 3 crowns and a P, which indicated it was from Sweden in 1917. The diamonds were single-cut and mounted in platinum. The sapphires appeared to be real, but upon closer inspection, air bubbles could be seen, indicating that they were simulated. Despite the simulated sapphires, the brooch would sell at auction for around
The piece would sell at auction for around $3,000.
That's interesting.
This man brought this piece of art to the show. His father acquired this piece from a close friend who happens to be the artist John Biggers, an African-American best known for his murals. Involving both charcoal and chalk drawings, this work of art dates back to the 1950s.
This this is the style he was working in, and they seem like they would be from that time period.
This item depicts a woman possibly influenced by the artist's experience in Africa or as a tribute to his wife, though the exact inspiration remains uncertain. Interestingly, these two pieces form a pair, with both the front and back views depicting the same figure. This charcoal and chalk drawing, exuding rarity, would sell for
$12,000 to $18,000.
Well, I really appreciate it.
Thanks for bringing them in today.
Oh, my pleasure.
From a childhood filled with auction treasures to a valuable antique, this Fulpa pottery vase tells a story of cherished memories.
Things, but my dad and I liked to buy the boxes of surprises, and he would go through and get the books, and I would get all the treasures, and I'd haul the treasures off to my room.
The guest acquired this piece in a box lot at an auction with her father around 1948, made by the Fulpa Pottery Company in Flemington, New Jersey. This vase dates back to around 1909 to 1910. Initially known for utilitarian wear, Fulpa transitioned to art pottery under the guidance of German designer John Martin Stangl. This piece, part of the specific line of Fulpa, features intricate cattail designs and a quality green glaze.
This piece is part of their vase craft with a K line. So it is a molded piece, but it's really intricately designed.
Despite the declining market for Fulpa pieces, this vase remains a valuable collectible. Of particular highlight is the item's limited production and good condition, which are key factors in its appraisal. At auction, the estimated value for this Vasecraft line vase is
$5,000 and $7,000.
Wonderful. I had no idea it was worth that
much. While in Brazil, the guest found this captivating piece at an antique show, mistaking it for a Chinese game. Upon seeing the gems inside, he discovered it was a healing nécessaire and purchased it for $500. Upon closer inspection, a tiny signature can be found, revealing that it was crafted by Bushon in Paris in 1884. Years later, during a visit to Paris, the owner shared it with Bushon, who admired its beauty and confirmed it was a special order. Bushon, founded in 1858, gained renown for its innovative designs. The piece boasts intricate details such as florets, a peony, and a fan. Turning it over reveals more surprises, like a tiny teapot. The sterling silver metalwork is meticulously hand-pierced and engraved. This level of craftsmanship is typical of Bushon's work on women's nécessaires. Opening it reveals compartments for gemstones like amethyst and crystal. Amethyst is known for its calming effect, while crystal can dispel negative energy.
You put the crystal or the stone of your choice. Let's say right now you want to be calmed. You put the amethyst here.
The device's rims bear the signature Bushon Paris. It's likely this was a custom creation tailored to a specific client's needs. At auction today, such a piece could fetch
$10,000 to $12,000.
Very good. That sounds great.
Current value of this exquisite jewelry ranges from $10,000 to $15,000.
Interesting. But I'm more delighted to find the history of it.
The guest bought this Russian Imperial Regimental Jaton in a pawn shop at the price of $1,000. The Russian Imperial Regimental Jaton captures the essence of the empire's military history and culture in the early 20th century. Jetons like this were like military membership tokens given to soldiers to represent their unit and service. This jeton resembles a sabretache, the pouch cavalry officers wore on their left side while riding. Jetons awfully intricately melded symbols of the regiment, the empire, and the monarch. At its center, the monogram of Nicholas II, Russia's final Tsar, gleams atop a deep red guilloche enamel. The back of the jeton, belonging to a light cavalry brigade, bears the Cyrillic inscription of a gentleman named Shevich. The pouch is intriguing because, like a regular one, it opens up. It doubles as a wearable locket. Owning a Russian Imperial Regimental jeton from this period connects you to the era's military and social upheavals. With precision and expertise, the appraiser valued the item, a Russian Imperial Regimental jeton.
$12,000 today. Interesting. But I'm more delighted to find the history of it.
This collection of signed photographs holds significant sentimental value for the owner, as they were given to their grandmother and father by Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, and Sarah Vaughan. The connection stems from the owner's grandfather, who was Duke Ellington's doctor, and
he passed away, and I guess he dedicated this photo to my father and my grandmother. My father ended up being a jazz musician.
The owner's father, Dexter Gordon, a renowned tenor saxophonist, was deeply involved in the jazz scene and made a name for himself as a musician and actor. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his role in the film Round Midnight, and
I think didn't he win the Grammy as well?
Yes, the album did win a Grammy, and also Herbie Hancock, who composed the music for the film, also won an Academy Award.
His influence on jazz, particularly bebop, is profound, as he inspired musicians like John Coltrane and Sonny Rollins. Dexter Gordon's career took him to Copenhagen and Paris in the 1960s, where he lived and performed before returning to the United States in the 1970s. His album Homecoming, recorded at the Village Vanguard, reinvigorated his career and introduced him to a new audience. The photos, with inscriptions from jazz icons like Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, and Sarah Vaughan, are not just signatures, but connections to a rich musical history. This whole collection is valued at no less than
$15,000.
Wow.
Purchased by her grandparents in 1925 and was utilized as a vegetable dish. The piece is attributed to Everardus Bogardus, a New York silversmith of Dutch descent who operated in the late 17th century. Turning it over, the mark reveals E. Bogardus in full, a departure from his usual EB initials. Silver basins like this often held ceremonial significance, such as for baptisms, implying historical importance. Silver was popular for luxury and ceremonial items due to its value, durability, and malleability, allowing intricate detailing. It offers insights into the religious and social practices of Dutch settlers in colonial America. The piece's plain form is typical of its period, prioritizing functionality over ornamentation. Overall, the basin was a cherished and versatile object embodying religious devotion and cultural significance in colonial New York. Amidst its rich history, the appraiser valued the item
$4,000 to $6,000 on it now.
All right, great.
Those are nice dolls.
Yeah, they're lovely dolls and they're in lovely condition.
When she was 16, her grandmother gave these dolls to her. This elegant figure is a French fashion doll, commonly referred to as a lady doll. This is a child doll, and it's made in Germany, specifically in the Sonnenberg area. Bru Sonnenberg Dolls and Clothes was a top French doll maker in the 19th century, known for quality dolls and elegant clothing. With her bisque head, glass eyes, and goat hair mohair wig, she wears her original clothes and jewelry, exuding timeless elegance. This little Sonnenberg doll has a wax-over, papier-mâché face and composition hands with swivel joints. Pulling the lever caused her eyes to open, pushing it closed them again. The Sonnenberg doll, complete with original clothes, shoes, and hair, also came with her original paper trunk. The bodies were typically made of composition or kid leather. The item included Bru and Sonnenberg dolls along with their authentic clothes, valued by the appraiser.
Probably around $5,500 for the grouping.
Those are nice dolls.
Yeah, they're lovely dolls and they're in lovely condition.
Once owned by the guest's grandfather. As the guest recounted its journey from Greenwich to Kipahulu on Maui, the appraiser attentively absorbed the details, tracing its familial path to its current owner. Imbued with a passion for aged wood and 18th century craftsmanship, the appraiser identified it as a dressing table from Philadelphia, crafted circa 1745 to 1750. With precision, they explored each aspect, revealing a past alteration that, despite affecting its value, did not diminish its charm or significance. With the best cabriole legs in Philadelphia, the top was made with a wonderful tiger maple. Upon lifting the top, the tigering, which is the curly figure on the inside of the case, matched that on the top.
Clearly from the same wood source. Also, the oxidation, the discoloration from being exposed to the little bit of air that was getting in there matches. So we know that those two pieces of wood, the side of this case and this top, have been next to each other, we feel, for about 250 years.
The appraiser further revealed how the holes on the tables should match and how amazingly they all matched. The appraiser estimated the value of this ancient beauty to be
The top, original but reshaped. The value of this on the East Coast, let's say it's probably worth a little more on the East Coast, would be about $12,000 retail, okay?
This collection of sketches was discovered by the owner while going through items left behind in their San Francisco home. The sketches, by Frederick Remington, caught their eye due to a recent article in the Saturday Evening Post about references.
It was a big article on Remington, so I ran home. Wow. Had to do what I had, but I never did anything with them. Except
Frederick Remington, known for his depictions of the American West, was an artist who wore many hats. He was a cowboy, ranch hand, illustrator, and painter. His sketches, primarily from the 1880s and 1890s, showcase his diverse talents and...
He was sort of a jack of all trades. To make his way in the West, he was a cowboy and a ranch hand and just sort of did a little bit of everything. And that was his artistic.
The sketches, done in ink wash, pen and ink, and pencil, are authentic pieces of Remington's work. However, due to their popularity and the risk of copy prints, authentication would be necessary for selling them. Assuming they are authenticated, each sketch could fetch at
about $2,000 a piece for them.
That's wonderful.
So
Goodness.
we're looking $10,000.
That's a lot of money.
I don't know what to say to that. That's amazing.
These charming figurines, known as the Gebruder Hubeck kittens, were inherited by the owner, possibly belonging to their mother or grandmother. Stored in a shoebox and intended for decoration in their daughter's room, these kittens hold sentimental value for the owner. Made around 1910 by the German firm Gebruder Hubeck, each kitten is about 6.5 inches tall, with bisque heads and papier-mâché bodies. They are dressed in original cotton play suits, showcasing intricate details and vibrant colors. The appraiser expressed delight at seeing all 3 kittens together, noting their excellent condition and the rarity of finding them as a set. In a retail doll shop, the gray kitten would be valued at $2,300.
Gray cat would be worth $2,300. And I had seen him before.
The white kitten at the same price, and despite some damage to its ear, the black kitten would also be valued at
around $2,300 also, even with the damage. They're worth about $7,000.
I don't know what to say to that. That's amazing.
At 8, the guest mom's uncle let him and his sister choose trinkets from his NYC apartment, including 2 beautiful French faux books.
He was a world traveler, so he had like a set of armor from England, and he had ebony and ivory elephants from Africa, and these are a couple of things that I thought were really cool.
One contains a music box and decanter set, while the other is a poker set. Both feature intricate craftsmanship with tooled leather, gilding, and a made-in-France stamp. The poker set opens up to show original pages and a set of baccarat and crystal glasses. These items probably originate from the late Victorian to Edwardian era, approximately between 1900 and the 1920s. The poker set is particularly intriguing. Surprisingly, the cards have never been used, remaining in pristine condition. Glasses show no chips, and everything remains in its rightful place. Based on similar items at auction,
Smaller box would be $300 to $500, and the bigger one's going to be about $500 to $800.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. 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 I am so amazed.
perhaps one of the weirdest heirlooms you can get from your parents is a lamp, because usually most folks will pass down jewelry, a portrait, or painting. But today's guest has an exquisite kind of lamp as an heirloom. It's exquisite because it was created by a company called Tiffany Glass at the time of its making. In this company was a man known as Louis Comfort Tiffany. Louis Tiffany was the head of the company and is regarded by many antique lovers as an expert designer, and this lamp is no different, with his expertise evident through the exotically twisted metal. As an item created by one of America's finest designers, this lamp fetches an auction value of
Between $15,000 and $20,000.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. I am so amazed.
Guest stumbled upon this piece of New Deal history at a junk shop in Fort Payne, Alabama, while helping to unload a piano for a discount. He purchased it because it fits the style of their home and complements their World War II propaganda posters. This poster, designed in 1935, was part of the Works Progress Administration during the Great Depression. WPA produced over 2 million posters covering various themes such as art, history, and safety. It was used in a Massachusetts courthouse construction project in 1936. The project cost $6,000, with the WPA contributing $4,900, and only a few copies are found in museums. Despite its poor condition, its charm remains intact. Framing and minimal exposure to light can preserve it. Since these posters rarely appear for sale, estimating their value is challenging.
$2,000 and $3,000.
Wow, roll tide. That's great.
I would think in good condition, you're probably talking $7,000, $8,000, $9,000.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Seriously.
Today's item is a miniature long case regulator, also known as the grandmother's clock, to the guest. This item holds significant family history as a passed-down heirloom. Crafted by John Shelton in the 1760s, who was a renowned London clock and regulator maker.
Who is a maker of fantastic early regulators, really very special indeed.
Right. Featuring a 7-inch dial, it operates differently from normal clocks, which offer a unique and precise way of telling time.
A slightly unusual method of telling the time.
Indeed, and that always fascinated me as a child.
Despite its age, it remains in excellent condition. With its intriguing method of timekeeping, this remarkable piece would fetch
be between £50,000 and £60,000.
Seriously?
My, oh my.
Today's item would send chills down the spine of most viewers because it was used for an unconventional means. Called a pineapple club, this normal instrument was used by cannibals to hunt humans. It's called a pineapple club due to its spikes and how it closely resembles the spikes of pineapples. It's also from the island of Fiji. Despite being a weird item to most people, it auctions at the estimated value of
For $4,000 to $6,000.
Guest brought Japanese cloisonné vases produced between the late 1800s and 1920s. The vases were purchased in different locations, including London and Italy, between 1971 and 1982. The appraiser dated the vases to the Meiji period, 1875 to 1915, noting their fine quality and tight wire work. The vases featured intricate designs, including songbirds, leaves, and geometric patterns on a midnight blue ground. 3 of the vases had silver or gilded copper mounts, while the 4th had worn gilding. Despite their age, the vases were in excellent condition, with minimal wear and no markings. The appraiser estimated that these exquisite vases will fetch a handsome sum at auction, likely around
between $8,000 and $12,000.
More than just a precious stone, this jade pendant is a symbol of spiritual strength and ancestral connection. This piece is called a Haitiki pendant, which represents an ancestor or goddess of childbirth. It depicts a carved human figure.
Some people think it represents the first man in Maori mythology.
Also, this traditional ornament is carved from nephrite jade, a precious stone highly valued by the Maori people.
Prized because of its colour, and this is a beautiful colour, it's often darker, and its hardness. It was incredibly hard to work. It took forever to make something like this.
However, this Haitiki pendant is not just jewelry, but a sacred link to ancestral wisdom and protection that's worth.
This little break in the leg there actually doesn't make that much difference. So I'm still going to say it's worth between 12,000 and 15,000.
I just can't believe it.
I know a few people I could show this to and they'd be blown away.
Only a few people can boast of experiencing how it felt to be a baseball legend, and today's guest fits the description perfectly. We have here an ultra-rare archive of baseball legend Ty Cobb.
He was great at the stock market also. Of course, Coca-Cola was how he started making his millions.
He convinced my mother and dad to buy about $3,000 in Coca-Cola stock about that time.
During his time, Cobb was considered a living legend due to his achievements in his playing career.
It's a batting by Ty Cobb. And if we look at the inside of this cover here, we see that it's signed by Ty Cobb. And the same with this other program.
We can see here his archives are a masterpiece and well detailed, as it gives us the chance to experience what it felt like to be at the peak of baseball. It is for this reason that to many collectors, this archive would be almost priceless and therefore attract the auction estimate of
$25,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
Are you surprised by the value that you have here?
I actually thought it was a little higher.
This man brought a wrought iron to the show. His great-great-grandfather made this piece. Made for the Columbian Exposition, this wrought iron was crafted in 1893. Looking at this piece, we see the level of craftsmanship and the amount of detail put into its crafting. What do you think this wrought iron with superb craftsmanship would sell for? Going into a museum of art, one expects to explore lots of artworks. But today we focus on the most iconic photograph of a 20th century photographer, Dorothea Lange. Lange was an influential American documentary photographer and photojournalist. This photograph, called The Migrant Mother, was shot in Nipomo, California in 1936 and is a photograph of a woman called Florence Owens Thompson, a migrant mother. This photograph tells a story about the life and challenges of migrants.
Captures a number of images, takes these photographs to a local newspaper,
and would end up helping the lives of the people in the camp this photograph was taken. A photograph capturing a heart-touching scene from one of the most important photojournalists of the 20th century should be well worth
$40,000 to $200,000 at public auctions.
I see. Thank you for all the information and history.
These books were from the library that the guest inherited from her grandfather, who grew up in Japan and later became a professor at Stanford. The appraiser revealed that these books were published in Yokohama in 1885 and are a 2-volume set of first edition. These rare books belong to Joseph Hecko, who was the first Japanese-American found at sea by an American frigate and brought to San Francisco. He published these books in 1885 in Yokohama when he returned. One of the books also had an inscription from the author. Considering their rarity, the appraiser estimated the price of these books to be...
Well, I would say conservatively that the pair would probably have an auction estimate of $6,000 to $8,000 in today's marketplace.
Africa is often called the motherland, so we wonder what this collection of tribal clubs from the motherland would be like. The clubs are from an Angolan tribe,
The Chokwe from Angola, and they're known for their fine carving.
All of these clubs were meticulously crafted, with each one carrying its own set of designs.
Designs, and some with studs to embellish them even further.
The clubs are prestigious and are used as a sign of prestige among the tribespeople the club originates from. This collection of clubs from the motherland, with its meticulous craftsmanship and design, would auction at
£4,000 for the group.
Wow, it's a bit more than I paid. My daughter would be very happy when she's older.
The guest brought in a piece of furniture that he inherited from his mother. The appraiser dated the piece to the Revolutionary generation between 1760 and 1790. The piece was likely from northern New England, made of maple stained to resemble mahogany, with a New England white pine interior. However, the appraiser noted that it was a married piece, with top and bottom parts made at different times. The top cresting rail was a Victorian replacement, which affected its value. Despite its age and craftsmanship, due to its condition and inconsistencies, it was appraised at
about $1,000 to $1,500.
Wow.
These English teapots date back to the 18th century, a time when England experienced a surge in tea consumption. Teapots played a significant role in English culture during the 18th century. These 3 teapots are made from porcelain. They bear intricate designs and elaborate shapes, showcasing excellent craftsmanship. Despite being very rare and unique artifacts, their value varies based on several factors. This first one, which is of a larger form with its design printed on and produced in the late 18th century, is valued at
£200.
The second teapot is of an elegant form with a hand-painted depiction of a dragon and produced in the mid-18th century. At retail, would cost
about £2,000 as opposed to the 200 for the basic.
The third piece was produced by Limehouse in East London between 1746 and 1748. They are rare because only a few were made and is worth approximately
£20,000 for a totally unmarked teapot.
The guest brought a rocker passed down to her family by her great-great-grandmother. The rocker was made in the late 1900s by a man from West Union, Ohio, and it had been in the family ever since. It was a piece of folk art that showcased the maker's skills, including inlay and turned elements. The acorns on the rocker symbolized strength. The scroll handholds resembled a violin. The rocker's horses, flanked by inlaid leaves, were its centerpiece and gave it a strong folk art identity. Despite scratches from the guest grandkids, the rocker's finish only added to its charm and value. A true trove of American history and craftsmanship, the rocker's value was estimated at
about $18,000 on it. Maybe even 20, so in that range, $18,000 to $20,000. You're still gonna rock in it, right?
Yeah.
Created in the 1920s, this sculpture is a masterpiece by the renowned artist Anna Von Hyatt, later known as Anna Hyatt Huntington after marrying philanthropist Archer Huntington. Titled The Yawning Tiger, it's one of her most famous models, showcasing her exceptional talent and artistic vision. This sculpture, signed by the artist as Hyatt, exemplifies her skill in capturing the essence and movement of the tiger. At auction, this piece is estimated to fetch at
$8,000 and $12,000.
Oh, wonderful.
Right.
That's great news.
Right.
Yeah.
For the guest, this news is truly wonderful, adding to the allure and appreciation of this remarkable sculpture. These unique pieces of jewelry were recovered from the lost items stored by the Colorado Unclaimed Property Division. The division holds these properties for 5 years, after which they are auctioned off to the public. The first set of jewelry is made of platinum and cut diamonds. Originating from America in the 1950s, this piece is estimated to be at least
$2,000 and $3,000.
This necklace is made of yellow gold set with peridot, amethyst, and garnet crystals. The style originates from England and was popular around the 1860s and 1870s. It is valued at
$3,000 and $4,000.
The last piece of jewelry is a ring bearing a fancy, intense yellow diamond of approximately 6.2 carats. Originating from Denver, Colorado, if proven authentic, this ring will have an estimated value of
between $75,000 and $85,000.
The guest brought a guitar belonging to his son, who passed away in 1999 and had a passion for music and guitars. The guest's son likely purchased the guitar for around $2,000, but the exact origin was unknown. The guest had learned to play the guitar himself to honor his son's passion. The appraiser examined the guitar and found that the neck was an original Fender Broadcaster neck from around 1950 or 51. However, the body was a reissue from Fender's vintage reissue series, likely made in the 1980s. Despite the mixed origins, the guitar was still functional and fine playing, with original parts including the pickups, wiring, and tuners. The appraiser's expert eye placed this guitar's value at
$8,000 to $10,000 at retail.
You gotta be kidding.
No, that's the truth.
The guest brought a Russian wine cup that belonged to her mother, gifted to her by a friend. The wine cup was identified as a Russian wine cup, or kosh, made by famous Russian silversmith and enameler Ovchinnikov. The wine cup featured shaded Russian enamel on a silver base, with carefully shaded pink and white flowers. The piece had Russian marks on the bottom and handle, indicating it was made before 1896. The appraiser noted that Ovchinnikov's pieces were often heavier than those of his competitors, making this cup, too, an exceptional piece. Despite its small size, the wine cup was in wonderful condition, with no chips or damage to the enameling. The appraiser's estimate surprised the guest, revealing the wine cup's value at
$18,000.
You gotta be kidding.
No, that's the truth.
18,000?
Yes.
I figured it may be worth a couple of $100.
Today's guest doesn't bring an antique to be appraised. Contrarily, we are taken aback on a lifetime of friendship between the guest's mother and Princess Elizabeth.
My mother was 5 years old and she was playing in the gardens and this little girl came along.
Imagine how it would feel being close to royalty without knowing that your best friend was destined to become the Queen of England.
My mother was always meant to have been the only friend that she chose herself because she obviously wasn't a relation or the daughter of a friend or anything.
This was the reality of Sonia Graham Hodgson. Their strong friendship is evident in the presents sent to Sonia by a young Queen Elizabeth. We also have photographs of Sonia and Elizabeth from when they were kids.
So this is my mother here with the Queen, Princess Elizabeth as she was, and Princess Margaret.
For a friendship that lasted over 80 years and with royalty, this relationship was absolutely priceless. At first sight, this Spanish dancer doll may not seem special, but the guest has an eye for quality because the figure is highly sought after being created by Helen Connick Scavini. For those who don't know, Helen was an expert doll maker using her life experiences to shape realistic-looking dolls. This Spanish dancer is a perfect example of her expertise at the time. Helen made the dancer doll for Lenchi, which was a top-tier ceramic company at the time. Surprisingly, the doll has a name.
Name of this piece, which is Angelita alla Corrida.
Considering that it was created by a company which was at the pinnacle of ceramic industry, this Spanish dancer doll auctions at
to £3,000. Really?
Oh, wow. In a very, very popular form.
The guest brought in an item she inherited from her grandfather, which she believed to be a tobacco box, but is actually a tea caddy. Popular among English furniture collectors and decorators in the 17th and 18th century, this pear-shaped caddy is lined with foil to protect the tea. Equipped with a lock at the front to preserve the tea and prevent theft.
So the lady of the house would have the key to open the tea caddy, and as is typical with tea caddies like
this item also features a plug at the bottom indicating its age and antiquity. Despite some minor damage, the value of this old piece remains unaffected and would fetch a considerable price of...
can get usually around $7,000 or $8,000 for them. Oh, wow.
They bought this Chinese settee for $100. An 1890s Chinese settee could blend traditional Chinese craftsmanship with Western influences. In the late 19th century, the Qing Dynasty mixed Chinese styles with Western influences through trade and cultural exchange. The 1890s Chinese settee is adorned with scrolling vines, leaves, and symbolic birds representing prosperity and good fortune. The trellis work features intricate bamboo shoots. The two marble circular panels originate from the Yunnan province in southern China. Woods chosen for their rich hues and carving qualities were layered with lacquer for protection and enhanced beauty. The settee likely functioned as both seating and artwork, showcasing cultural exchange and artistic innovation. The intricate craftsmanship and historical significance of the Chinese settee had the appraiser impressed with its value.
Around $4,000.
Okay. Oh, it's nice to know.
This is a unique set of jewelry our guest inherited from her father.
My father bought them in the 1960s in an antique shop in Old Welwyn. He was particularly interested in them because of the figure of Maharaja Ranjit Singh.
These earrings belong to Ranjit Singh, popularly known as the Lion of Punjab. He was the first Maharaj of the Sikh Empire. These earrings are made of silver and rock crystals in teardrop shape. They contain portraits of the great Maharaj of Punjab. These paintings are intricately detailed, showing his loss of sight due to smallpox infection as a boy.
If you haven't already done so, that when you look at his face, he was blind in the left eye because he developed smallpox as a small boy.
Showcasing the iconic Lion of Punjab, these earrings hold great significance to the history of the Sikh and Indians. Altogether, it has an estimated value of
£800.
On today's show, we're featuring a set of mixed media paintings. Our guest inherited them from her grandmother. These paintings were done by the renowned artist Dorothy Carlton Smith. Dorothy was a Scottish artist active in theatrical portraits and costume designs. She was one of the leading figures at the Glasgow School of Art during post-World War I. These pieces are Shakespearean illustrations signed and dated to the early 20th century.
She actually designed a group of costumes for the Shakespearean festivals that were held in Stratford-on-Avon. Each one of them is signed and dated, and they're dated 1905.
As an artist placed at the height of the golden age of illustration, original paintings bearing her signature are worth
$5,000 and $6,000.
Oh my God.
In the heart of Ohio's pottery legacy lies a treasure from the past. This Roseville tourist jardinier is a testament to its craftsmanship and offers a glimpse into a bygone era of travel and exploration. What sets this piece apart is its decal, a method typically associated with more utilitarian ceramics of the time.
It's ceramic, it can break, so these are fairly rare.
Also, it is characterized by its depiction of automobiles. In today's market, this jardinier is highly collectible among collectors of Ohio pottery, and at auction would fetch
$1,200 and $1,700.
They held a letter from their great-aunt Martha, a memento from her relationship with J.D. Salinger. He wrote this letter from his dog, Herman, to her dog, Jigger. J.D. Salinger was an American writer best known for his novel The Catcher in the Rye, which was published in 1951. J.D. Salinger, known for his reclusiveness, maintained limited correspondence, resulting in a scarcity of his letters at auction. Herman, the dog, asserts in the third line, "I can type, I could write better stories than him if I had the time." It's an entirely typed letter. A few pencil notes echo in the playful letter-writing style found on the opposite side. Having a letter with deep memory, the appraiser valued the item
About $600 to $800.
This French fashion doll is a François Gautier doll with original costume from 1880 to 1890 and was gifted to the guest by her mother. François Gautier was a famous doll maker who made porcelain doll heads and busts for numerous manufacturers in Paris during the late 1800s. This doll head was movable, and these were very, very expensive dolls of their time. The doll was wearing an original costume, and from its face to hair to dress, everything was still original. To the guest's amazement, the appraiser estimated this doll to be
$4,000 to $4,500.
Wow, thank you, Mom.
The guest brought a piece of pottery gifted to her by her husband. It was made by Poya Pillin, a local potter, in the early 1970s. Poya Pillin was born in Poland in 1909 and immigrated to the U.S. in 1924, studying art and pottery making in Chicago and New Mexico. She lived in Los Angeles from 1948 until her death in 1992, creating unique and individualistic pottery with simple shapes but vibrant painted decorations. Pillin's pottery was recognizable across the room, with these themes including women, horses, birds, and dancers, often featured jewel tones and a ceramic body mixed with paint. Poya Pillin's pottery was highly distinctive and sought after, with no one able to replicate her style or themes. The appraiser estimated this treasured family heirloom and a testament to Pillin's artistic legacy at
Top two vases between $1,000 and $1,500 a piece. All three of those I think would have a similar price, somewhere between $600 and $900 a piece.
Nice. These beautiful Ojibwes belong to the guest's grandfather, who bought them from a fellow trader with a collection of Indian pieces. The appraiser identified them as bandolier bags made by Native American tribes, with floral designs dating back to the late 19th century. These Ojibwes are primarily used for ceremonial purposes in the past. The appraiser revealed that the first Ojibwe bag began to appear in the mid-19th century, showcasing exquisite craftsmanship achieved through meticulous beadwork, with each bead added one at a time. The beauty of these Ojibwe bags was so captivating that they were even exchanged for a horse. Revealing that these floral designs are not considered very traditional nowadays, the appraiser estimated the value of these exquisite pieces at
You could buy one of these bandolier bags for maybe $1,000 to $1,500. 30 years later, they're still selling for about $1,000 to $1,500.
From the enchanting town of Bohemia, a masterpiece crafted by Riesner, Stellmacher, and Kessel, is presented on today's show. This porcelain factory started in Thurn in 1892. This vase is a stunning piece that reflects the beauty of its Bohemian origins.
Two towns put together and done most likely in 1893, 1894.
Also, the vase is marked with the distinctive RSTK amphora mark and a mold number of 664, which helps identify its age and origin. However, this vase's intricate design and beautiful craftsmanship make it a timeless piece that's valued at
$900 and $1,400 as a pre-sale estimate.
That's great. I will treasure forever.
Step into the past with a remarkable oversized tea cozy from around 1900. This cozy is a masterpiece of Native American craftsmanship. Hand-sewn with precision, it features intricate beadwork and vibrant colors, lending it three-dimensional depth. Each stitch tells a story of European, particularly Scottish, influence.
This has got to be the most spectacular piece of beadwork from the Great Lakes I have ever seen in my life.
Well-preserved cozy's unique design reflects nature and tribal symbolism, showcasing the artisan's skill. This cozy isn't just functional, it's a work of art, enhancing tea gatherings with charm.
What'd you pay for it?
$65.
Oh man, $65? Are you kidding me? Well, it's worth about $2,000.
This silver cup is not just a beautiful piece of craftsmanship, it's also a piece of living history. Made by the guest husband's grandmother, this piece is a tangible connection to one of the most significant events in American history. Interestingly, this cup was created during a time of great turmoil, with the Civil War beginning just days before its maker's birth. Overall, this historical piece is a testament to its unique place in American history that would fetch
$2,500 to $3,500. It's really quite a wonderful one. Thank you so much. Thanks.
You had it appraised for how much?
Unbelievable, $500.
The guest came to the show with a special piece that was gifted to him by his grandmother. This is a porcelain bust sculpted in 1876 by Isaac Broom, an American sculptor known for his ceramic works. This item was made for an exhibition show in Philadelphia and happens to be the only brown-colored item, making it the sole existing piece out of the works exhibited by this artist at that show.
When the show opened, the work he planned for the exhibition wasn't completed yet, and he kept seeding material into the exhibition as it was in progress, and this is probably one of the pieces.
Although some damage is found on this piece due to its age and porcelain material, this damage affects its value. However, this rare porcelain ware could still sell for
$50,000.
$50,000?
And you had it appraised for how much?
Unbelievable, $500.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's amazing. I had no idea. Okay.
It's always talked about that Asian arts are quite unique for their craftsmanship and history. And we see that with this statue inherited by our guest. This is a Chinese statue from the Ming Dynasty.
That is to say, in rough terms, this is about 400 to 500 years old.
It's a bodhisattva statue known as a guardian figure in Chinese culture. The many heads on the statue represent omniscience, while the multiple arms represent omnipotence.
Condition, there are some things that were once present in these hands that are gone.
The piece has traces of polychrome decoration with beautiful gilding on its faces. A piece of this quality that serves as a Buddhist and Taoist icon in today's marketplace would sell for
$10,000 to $15,000.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's amazing. I had no idea. Okay.
The guest brought a caricature drawing of James Taylor Ellison, a notable figure in Richmond's history, along with his collection of canes. Ellison was a collector of canes, and many were given to him as gifts, some of which were inscribed and dated. The guest purchased the collection at an estate sale for $250 about 20 years ago. The appraiser identified a swagger stick among the canes, which was a common presentation item for notable men. The caricature drawing, signed Rostrup, was a unique and original watercolor piece. While the canes themselves were of modest value, one engraved cane with a gold cap was much more valuable. The appraiser praised the guest's find, noting that the caricature amplified the value of the entire collection. A heaven for the cane collectors, The appraiser estimated their worth as
$4,000 to $6,000.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very
Great
nice.
find. This Minnesota Atlas is a stunning visual record of the state's history and geography during the 19th century. Published in 1874, this atlas features detailed maps of Minnesota cities, providing a comprehensive view of the state's landscape. What sets this atlas apart is its illustrations, which depicts various aspects of Minnesota life in the 19th century. However, how much would this historical piece be worth at auction? This man brought to the show a drawing he reframed.
We reframed it, and this paper was the backing of the original way that was framed.
This drawing originally belonged to one of his relatives and was made in 1937 by Jared French, an American painter who specialized in the medium of egg tempera. This drawing is a study for Safe, a known painting in the Hall of Fame featuring a great American subject, a baseball game. Although the players in this drawing aren't recognized, its surrealistic style combined with magical elements would fetch a price of
$20,000.
Wow. I'm going to go to the Cooperstown now.
I hope your mom's happy too.
Yeah, oh, she will be.
The Groovy features a simple yet elegant design. This jar is a testament to the arts and crafts movement. Also, the Reed butterfly vase, designed by Frederick H. Reed, represents the Art Nouveau style that was popular during the same period. This vase features a delicate butterfly motif rendered in vibrant colors and intricate detail.
Absolutely perfect condition. So it's the original matching lid in perfect condition. The glaze works together with the base.
However, both pieces showcase the diversity and beauty of the period's ceramic artistry that's valued at
$10,000 to $15,000.
Oh my God! Oh.
I hope your mom's happy too.
Yeah, oh, she will be.
Not often do we encounter a piece of jewelry that transports us back in time, but the Art Deco cocktail bracelet does just that. The guest inherited it from her half-sister. The bracelet is made of diamonds and platinum, characterized by its geometric design, typical of the Art Deco period.
The sapphires are synthetic. That just means they were grown synthetically around 1885, 1890. They assembled the piece.
Crafted in the early 20th century during the height of the Art Deco movement, this bracelet features intricate designs and exquisite craftsmanship. Today, this bracelet remains a coveted and timeless piece of jewelry, sought after for its beauty and historical significance, and is worth
$15,000 to $18,000.
Oh, really?
That's what this piece would bring.
Well, it certainly has improved in value.
Well, the diamonds are A1 quality. They're white stones. They're clean. It's a well-made piece.
Guest brought Japanese cloisonné vases produced between the late 1800s and 1920s. The vases were purchased in different locations, including London and Italy, between 1971 and 1982. The appraiser dated the vases to the Meiji period, 1875 to 1915, noting their fine quality and tight wire work. The vases featured intricate designs, including songbirds, leaves, and geometric patterns on a midnight blue ground. 3 of the vases had silver or gilded copper mounts, while the 4th had worn gilding. Despite their age, the vases were in excellent condition, with minimal wear and no markings. The appraiser estimated that these exquisite vases will fetch a handsome sum at auction, likely around
Between $8,000 and $12,000.
Often, dolls are thought of as children's playthings, but that's not the case with the doll presented on the show today. This doll was given to our guest by her husband, who inherited it from his grandmother. Ambiguous in nature, this doll could be masculine or feminine and was crafted around 1913 to the 1920s. Quality bisque porcelain was used in making this doll, along with quality craftsmanship, which makes it retain its shape after so many years. Although originally a novelty piece for kids, due to the quality of its craftsmanship and demand by collectors, it is worth
$4,000 and $5,000.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, it's a very rare action cupie.
Guest presented a Gibson Girl doll on the show. This piece is an iconic representation of the fashionable woman from the early 20th century. Inspired by illustrations of Charles D. Gibson, this doll was produced by the J.D. Kessner Doll Company in Germany.
You can tell it's very different from a child doll. She has this long neck and her face is looking up. Her hair is done in a style that an adult woman would have.
It is made of bisque porcelain, a type of unglazed porcelain that gives the doll a realistic appearance. Also, the doll's features are finely painted, capturing the elegance and grace of the Gibson Girl. However, this doll remains a charming reminder of a bygone era and a testament to the enduring appeal of the Gibson Girl idea, with a price value of
$1,500 and $2,200.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. How wonderful. Oh, the kids will be thrilled.
Good. The guest brought a painting purchased by her husband in France in 1937 for $30. It was drawn by Othon Friese, a French painter born in Le Havre, Normandy, who came from a family of mariners. Othon Friese was a secondary figure in the Fauves group, but still a wonderful artist, and his works from 1904 to 1908 are in high demand at auction. The Fauves translates to the wild beasts, and were known for their bold, vivid brushwork and colors, considered outrageous at the time. The painting was a later work, likely from the 1930s, and showcases Friese's mature style, which reverted to more traditional techniques. The appraiser expert opinion declared that this timeless masterpiece was valued at
somewhere in the $8,000 to $12,000 range.
Oh, how wonderful. Oh, the kids will be thrilled.
Good.
Here we have a masterfully crafted plaque. Our guest grandparents had it commissioned in memory of their son, who died in the line of service.
Commissioned by her mother and father directly to Robert Thompson to make the plaque in memory of their son Brian, who died actually in the Battle of Britain. He was a Spitfire pilot.
This memorial piece was made by Robert Mouseman Thompson. Robert was a British furniture maker and craftsman. He was popularly known for crafting oak furniture, which featured a carved mouse. This plaque also bears the logo of the squadron in which the British soldiers served. Bearing the signature craft of the artist, the plaque dates back to the 1940s. What value will this piece that represents a brave soldier who served his country with great honor be worth?
On the Antiques Roadshow, but you can't value this. This is a personal history, personal story. I've never seen a plaque like this. It must be almost a one-off. It's a wonderful tribute to him.
Thank you.
In 1977, they helped a relative in Florida who had a Massachusetts table. They kept this item when she moved to a nursing home. This table bears the design typical of Massachusetts craftsmanship circa 1800. This table may be the work of Langley Boardman, a cabinet maker trained in Salem who later moved to Portsmouth. Mahogany, cherry, and maple were commonly preferred for their durability and beauty in crafting furniture of this era. The table is technically referred to as a Sheraton due to its turned and reeded leg design. The panel could showcase decorative elements like inlays, veneers, or intricate marquetry work. This veneer is technically flame birch, sourced from New England birch trees. It's rare for cabinet makers to encounter such distinctive flame grain in birch wood. Overall, the rectangular panel on a New England card table blends beauty with utility, creating a visually striking and versatile piece. The New England card table mesmerized all with its charm, as the appraiser valued the item.
$15,000 to $20,000.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that much.
The guest brought two pieces of jewelry inherited from her husband's aunt, a bracelet and earrings. The bracelet was from the Georgian period, dating between 1820 and 1840, and was likely English, featuring garnets and topaz stones in excellent condition. The earrings were natural pearls, diamonds, and gold dating around 1850 to 1860, with a French hallmark and a classic chandelier style. The guest had never had the pieces appraised before, but found receipts showing her aunt paid $4,500 for the earrings in the 1980s. Both pieces were considered fine examples of their period and style. Due to their exceptional condition and rarity, the appraiser valued them at
probably be around the same price, $4,500 to $5,000. The market for these type of earrings had gone up, it has gone down, and now it's just coming back up again. Now back to the bracelet. The bracelet also, because of condition, this is really an exceptionally fine condition. I would value the bracelet for insurance purposes, around $5,000 to $6,000.
Man alive. Man alive. Wunderbar.
He received those gifts as Christmas or birthday presents when they were a kid in Minnesota. The guest bought a Marx Roadster travel trailer. This Marx car and battery-powered dump truck from around 1938 is a classic toy from the mid-20th century. Marx Toys, founded by Louis Marx in 1919, was a leading toy manufacturer in the United States. It's a terrific truck, and original boxes are always a hit. The coal truck is typically a wind-up, much like the sedan often seen alongside it. The truck has a 4-battery compartment, and turning it on activates the lights and motor. It was typically made of lithographed tin, which was a common material for toys of that era. These toys mirrored real vehicles, letting children engage with and mimic the world. Amidst nostalgia and admiration, the appraiser valued the item.
$3,000 to $4,000.
Man alive. Man alive. Wunderbar.
The guest brought a sword he received from a family friend whose husband served America in World War II. It was an eagle-head sword from the early American Republic period, specifically from around the War of 1812 to the 1840s. It had a bone handle, eagle-head pommel, single-knuckle bow, and gilded brass details. The sword had a significant amount of its original gilt finish remaining, making it stand out from the others. Many high-end swords from this period had lost their original finish, making this one more valuable. Despite being from a time period with limited collector interest, the sword's excellent condition and inclusion of its scabbard made it worth at
$1,200 and $1,500.
The guest brought a piece of art featuring large moths she inherited from her parents. The moths were quite realistic and intimidating. The guest mentioned that the moths were scary, likely referring to their eerie appearance. The artwork was created using a technique called poussoir, which involved using stencils and bold brushes or rollers. This technique gives the artwork its bold and strong appearance, contributing to the moth's realistic appearance. The guest was surprised to learn that the moths were rather a product of artistic technique. The appraisers helped the guest understand and appreciate this artwork in a new light. This uniquely aesthetic piece of art was worth $2,000 in retail. Today we're featuring 2 pieces of porcelain, a pitcher and bowl. Our guest acquired the pieces from her uncle, who bought it at an antique shop. According to the mark at the base of these pieces, they were created by the English ceramic and home accessories manufacturer Royal Doulton. These pieces date back to the early 20th century. They are uniquely designed in a pattern called Aubrey, peculiar to the English illustrator Aubrey Vincent Beardsley. Although both pieces look identical, they were not produced at the same time. In fact, they have slight differences in the gilding, present in the pitcher and absent in the bowl.
Now, it's possible that this had gilding too, and over the years it's all worn off. It's more likely that it didn't. So the fact is there's no positive way of knowing.
Collected and preserved in excellent condition, these rare flow blue porcelain pieces will sell at an auction for
$500 or $600, something like that.